Now I'll tie a variation of the Magnus, and it was originally intended, this variation, as a winter version of the Magnus, but it works in regardless of season. It's just something different to throw to the Seatrout if they refuse to take a normal Magnus. And I'll start out by tying in some Beadchain eyes. The pattern is more or less exactly the same as the original Magnus, but with some different materials. Bring the tying thread down to the hook bend. It's just where the hook bend starts approximately. And then I've taken 2 marabou-like feathers from the bottom of a Grizzly hackle. Just remove some of the fluff. Tie in a Grizzly hackle to be used as a Palmerhackle. Make sure when you tie it in that it curves in towards the hook bend. That way, when you wind it, the fibers will bend backwards. We'll just make a dubbing loop, since we're going to be using some difficult dubbing. I'll hang my whip finisher in the dubbing loop, just to keep it out of the way and not folding up towards the hook. Cut out some of this. And bring the tying thread back to a couple of millimeters behind the Beadchain eyes. And for dubbing, I'll use, basically you can use every type of white dubbing, as long as there's a lot of flash in it and you want this fly to be seen. Fibers out of the dubbing loop. Since we'll brush it with Velcro, if a fiber or 2 from the Palmerhackle gets caught, it doesn't matter that much. Brush the dubbing loop with a bit of Velcro. Tie off the dubbing loop. We'll wind the Palmerhackle. Depending on how many turns of hackle you can make this as sparse or as full dressed as you like. It's often a good idea to use flies that are a bit more full dressed when fishing places where there's lots of wind, where there's lots of weed in the water. Rough fishing. Because the more full dressed fly can be easier to notice for the Seatrout than a very, very sparse pattern. Then cut off the Palmerhackle. And this is where it changes quite a bit from the original Magnus. We'll take a pink hackle and wind as a front hackle. And again, make sure it curves inwards towards the hook shank when tying it on. Again, you can use, depending on how many turns of this hackle you use, you can make either just a tiny amount of pink, or you can simply make the full out pink version. I think this is the very pink version of the Polarmagnus. With finish. And then the fly is basically tied. But I choose to use, just to give that overall look of pink in the front, I'll just run over the tan tying thread used for the rest of the fly with a pink thread. Simply because I think it adds that extra to the fly. Wood finish. There, the Polarmagnus.